Here we are in Google's demo shop, Google Analytics, where you can access this. Everyone can have access to this, by the way. These data are fake, but it is provided by Google, quote unquote, Google demo shop. On the left-hand side, once you come scroll over here, this is the most updated view, guys. On the left-hand side, you will see home. Underneath that, you will have reports, which is the part you're going to spend the most time on, and you will have Explorer, where you can create your own reports, own custom reports. And at the bottom, you will have advertising. First, let's take a look at the home page. On the home page, guys, you will have an overall view of what you can do, what you can see. It doesn't give you much, to be honest, but it gives you a snapshot. For instance, these are called each individual cards. This card, for instance, tells us a 7-day data, how many active users I have, and this green part is showing comparing to the previous 7 days. So last 7 days, I have more traffic coming, active users coming to my site, 23% increase. Key events, you will also mark your events as key or normal events. Key events meaning add to carts, purchase, lead. You can determine what a key event is. On the event count, this is the total events. So you can see how many less events that you get compared to the total event count. Over here, active users in the last 30 days, which countries are they coming from? Most of our traffic is coming from United States. So this is a 30 days data, not a big time frame. Once you go down, you will have a suggested for you data streams. You can see item purchased by name. This is also looking at last 7 days. You have users individually by countries in the last 7 days as well. We have 13,000 users coming from United States and 34% increase, huge increase. But India, we have 2.7% decrease. So we have less traffic compared to the 7 days. So you can come down, they will give you some recommendations. This is not the place you're going to spend the most time on. I have to be clear about this. So you come scroll left, and on the report section, this is the part you're going to spend the most time on. First and foremost, you need to know once we come to the reports, on the left hand side, we have a bunch of options. So we have acquisition, engagement, real-time overview, real-time pages, search console, user attributes, and tech. These take a lot of time to go through. I don't need you to become an expert on the first day. It is going to take time for you to go over this. So the first 3 are real-time reports. What does that mean? What is happening right now? So we can see average engagement time per active user. What is an engagement, you might ask? Engagement could be they have to complete either one of those 3 things. First and foremost is they completed at least one key event. Not all events, key events. If you marked, let's say, video views as a key event, if they view a video, that will count as a key event. So that is an engaged user. Or they spent 10 seconds on the website, or they visited more than one page on your website. So if they completed at least one of those, they will count as an engaged user. So you want more engaged users per session, per source. So let's come to what a source and medium is. So as I said, on the right hand side, what are your top campaigns? This is again looking at a real-time snapshot, real-time report. So let's come to real-time overview. This is showing us the real-time numbers. So last 1 minute, last 5 minutes, 10, 15, these are the real-time ones, right? 5 minutes, we can see the 30 minutes, but this doesn't tell you much, so right? You cannot make an educated decision by looking at the real-time. This is fun feature, but doesn't tell you much, as I said. So you don't want to spend so much time on the real-time and, boost your ego looking, there are people on my website. Doesn't make sense. What we want to do, we want to come to acquisition under life cycle on the left hand side. Come here, and I usually look at either overview, user acquisition is a unique person, traffic, and one user could come and do sessions 5 times, so that will be count as 5 different traffics, but that is one user coming 5 different times maybe, right? These are traffics and users, they're different things. So what I look at, let's come to traffic, is the most important thing that you're going to spend time on, because You want to look at how many times people come, right? So you're running a Facebook ads campaign and a person could see 5 different ads and click 5 different times. So you want to make sure how many times did your ads take to convert one user. That's why I look at traffic acquisition as an important place to spend time and make decisions. Or you want to acquire unique customers, user acquisition is going to be a section that you're going to spend most time on. Let's look at this data. This is an important data, and you can see on the right hand side we have events per session, engagement rate, engaged session. We covered the engagement. Now we know what an engagement is, so we want to see on each these primary channel groups, meaning where they came from. What are the sources that they're coming from? So we're going to come to source and medium. This is a different thing, but these are the primary channel groups. So how they actually came to your site. Direct. Someone sent them a link, they clicked on the link via WhatsApp, for instance, typed your website in www.whatever.com is, or someone entered your website and the session expired, they still have that on their domain, they restarted it and it becomes a direct session as well. So it is in one of your tabs on your website. That is a direct session. So as you guys can see, we can see how many direct traffic we're getting, which is huge. And we can look at the engagement rates and how engaged those users are depending on where they're coming from. Say you're running a Google Ads campaign and a Facebook Ads campaign, and you want to make an educated decision on how engaged my users are. This is not going to be the most important metric, because also, of course, you want to take a look at the sales data. So right now, we're also going to look at this. Let's take a look at the events. What are the events that we have as in all events, right? We have payment info edit, add to cart, errors, everything. Page view is also counted as an event, which is not an important metric for us, right? It is just person loading the page. But if you come to key events, which is marked by the team before us, so you have to manually mark this, but in this Google demo shop, they already marked this. We have purchase, add to cart, and view item. They mark those as key events, which are key events as well. So on the right hand side, we can see the total revenue. This is really important. You want to look at the total revenue, which is huge. I make sure I spend a lot of time here dissecting where the traffic is coming from, and I can make a strategic decision based on the data. So let's take a look at, instead of looking at session primary channel group, I want you to come to source/medium. Source will tell where people are coming from, and medium which channel they used, what is the medium they used to come to your session. So we are now at session medium. So instead of this, I want to go to source medium, session source medium. Cool. So first we're going to see the source, meaning is it Facebook, Google, what they used to come to my website, and medium is the means of how they came to my website. Is it a paid Google or is it organic Google? So organic Google could be SEO, but a paid is CPC is they came to my website via me running Google Ads. This tells that. So let's take a look. If I'm investing every month $2,000 on SEO, this is Google Organic, right? So when I'm doing SEO work, I look at Google Organic. And if I'm investing $2,000 on Google Ads, this will be Google CPC. So now I can come to revenue, how much I generated through those sessions. So you can see, in hypothetical example, I have spent $2,000 on Google SEO, doing SEO work. And I've generated $90,000 of sales, which is huge, with $2,000 of investment. But if you look at $2,000 of ad spend, I have only generated $28,730, which is not huge. Still a great return on my investment, but you can see the difference. This is yielding way better results. So if I have a bigger marketing budget, that tells me a great story saying, look, Google Organic gives us a great results. Let's push more budget into this. But there could be also, in a hypothetical example, we cannot rank more keywords with this given infrastructure, and Google, we haven't really tapped into that potential. Let's say you're bidding for a keyword, say red shoes, red Google shoes, and that keyword, your impression share is 50%, there's also 50% more that you can get more impressions with that specific keyword. That tells you you haven't really tapped into the potential of Google Ads yet, right? There are multiple factors looking at it, but if you just want to make a decision looking at this, of course, Google Organic looks like a better opportunity, meaning you want to do more SEO work, invest money on SEO. Not set, you will get this not set data. Don't worry about this too much. Let's come to here. We have a newsletter traffic coming to our website. By the way, I will come up and see what am I looking at, and we're just looking at 28 days, which is fine. 4 weeks. Let's come down again. So my email newsletter actually generated $24,000 for just this month, guys, just this month. Huge. And this also tells you guys email is a really lucrative advertising method, right? It is not actually advertising, but it's kind of direct response, and you're not spending any money to send people email. The money spent is only spend money on acquiring those emails, but to advertise to them, sending emails is free. So you can see I generated $24,000 out of thin air. Not set email is also a different type of email that you sent, but it's not being tracked. This is Baudu, whatever search engine that is, which is organic. I didn't generate anything. Sites.google.com, which is a referral site as well, and I generated $7,000 out of that. And you can also look at, I have 100 more. Instead of going next to next, I want to make it 200 here. I want to see 250 rows on this page. So you can go down and see how much you generated, and if you want to rank that by money that you generated, you just click on this arrow right here, and you will see the first is direct none. So they came from just by typing the website in, or they already had an open tab there. This could also come in as direct none. And we have the SEO part, and the second most lucrative one is this referral. And the third one is Google CPC. And we have the emails going down, down, down. And I want to show you one more thing. We have Reddit, also referral. It doesn't have to be someone referring you guys. You can also put your website link to Reddit or different sites like that, and they come through that, they will count as referral. So this hopefully makes sense for you guys. And this also Android free game something /CPM. This is a different advertising method, which is not counting as a CPC, guys. This is a CPM, which is also a different type of advertising. But we can see we didn't generate much here. Is that it? No. Let's say I only want to take a look at just my Google. I don't want to see anything else. I don't want to see anything else. I'm going to type in Google space /CPC, and I'm going to click enter, and you will see just Google CPC here. Nothing else, just Google CPC, so you can have a clear cut look on this data. Let's say I want to add some other data that I want to look at. I'm just going to click on this. This is called secondary dimension that you're going to add. Click on this plus icon and select something else. You can add one more thing or a couple more things. So let's say I want to look at gender, for instance, like which genders are buying from you. And also there's an important thing. If you haven't enabled age and gender, incompatible request will come up, so you won't be able to see those metrics. So we have to change this to, let's say, geography. Geography will show up. Let's say you want to do country, and I want to see Google CPC, which countries are generating me most revenue, and I will come to here. You can see all of these countries, almost how many? 90 different countries that we are generating revenue from. I want to look at this by my revenue total. United States is number 1. Second is Canada. Third is South Korea. That is interesting. So we cannot know how much we're spending on South Korea, but we have quite a bit of revenues coming in. And the interesting part is, guys, look at this. I have on Albania, for instance, not Albania. I don't want to look at Albania here. I want to look at a different country. Look at this, India. From India, we have 57 sessions and we have 0 purchases. As you guys can see, we have 0 purchases from India, but 57 people came. But from South Korea, we have only 31 people opening sessions. As I said, one person can create multiple sessions, 31 sessions, and I've generated 463. That kind of gives me, you know what, maybe advertising in India is not worth it. That could make sense. And you can also do the same kind of reports in user acquisition. How have you acquired users? What type of users are giving you the most? This is basically giving unique person data. This is giving you traffic data. Hope this makes sense. Under the engagement, we have what type of engagement happening, or a landing page reports if you want to look at. It's really useful on the landing page level. So let's come to landing pages. This means, guys, what is the first spot they land on? This looks at that. But if you look at pages and screens, you can take a look at which pages are getting most traffic, or which pages are generating most revenue. But of course, you will see checkout here. This doesn't make sense. Everybody is going to have checkout, and this is going to generate most revenue. You can filter this out, and maybe you want to look at just women's apparel. So I want to look at the pages that has women in it, and it will give me a good idea of what I'm looking at. So we can see all the, I want to make this rows per page as high as possible. I can see all the pages that is people are landing on, right? And the people are driving traffic from. So we have shop apparel. Women's is the most generic collection page, and women tech makers community. This is a community that is driving, but as you guys can see, they're not driving any revenue, these pages. So that there could be something. Maybe women products are not selling a lot. This could be something that you have to think about. Then we can come to landing pages. This gives you a lot of data, but you don't always have to look at it just by looking at this landing page, right? So you can also look at, by the way, this means homepage. If there's nothing here, this is exactly your domain. Let's take a look at, I will add one thing. What is the number of landing page, or the how many people landing on me on a certain device? So I'm going to look at browser and device, and I want them to give me the browser, say, right? On this landing page, people are landing on this page more on, you know, X browser. For instance, Chrome is number one, which makes sense. And on here, you can see the total revenue as well. So if I want to rank this by total revenue, I will be able to say, look, all my top 10 revenue streams are coming from Chrome users, and we can see shop clearance is really popular. Clearance sales are getting a lot of traffic. Homepage, once people land on my homepage, it is generating the most revenue. And you can see which landing page has the highest key session rates. This is also important. Or you can look at engagement rate as well. Key session key event rate is also, these also counts as engagement rate in a sense. Not always. This is going to be less than engagement rate, because as I said, if a person creates a key session, that automatically counts as an engagement. So let's take a look at this, guys, and I want to rank this by key session rates. So I want this to be as high as possible. So you can see these are, and also this is important, how many sessions we got. We have not a lot of sessions, so I want to make it as high as possible. And I want to look at sessions that is a little bit higher than 10. So it makes a statistical significance here. I'm looking at here, sessions about 10. Let's take a look at this. Canada product, Chrome dinner holiday, large socks, something. And we come here, the key session rate is huge. This product, once people come here, are engaging like crazy, and they end up also buying, hopefully. Do they buy? Let's look at total revenue. They didn't buy, but they engaged. They at least added to cart, checked out, did something. Maybe I want to say, look, I'm getting less traffic. Let me push a little bit more traffic, because I have literally 100% key event rate. This could be a metric you want to look at, or of course I suggest you look at total revenue as well, because if this product is not generating any revenue, there's probably something about it, right? Once we come to monetization, you will see the e-commerce stuff, which is kind of similar to this, a little bit more e-commerce specific. Let's come to e-commerce purchases, and you will see item by item basis. Here we have all the items, and we have items viewed and how many times the items purchased, right? So items viewed, item purchased, this gives you a conversion rate, and you will see which items have the higher conversion rate. And you can look at the vice versa, which items have the lowest conversion rate, so you can work on those product pages. We can also look at the item revenue. I want to rank this. I want to look at my best top 10 sellers. And maybe I want to launch just a campaign on Google Shopping just promoting my top 10 best sellers. Not only 28 days, of course, this is a really small period. Maybe I want to look at a bigger time frame, maybe 4 or 5 months, right? I want to look at from August 1st to December 7th, and I'm looking at this top 10. This, for instance, Google Campus Bike generated 44,000 which is huge, guys. $44,000 of revenue, and you can also see how many times it was purchased, and you can come up with the average order value of this product or how much that product costs overall, right? So hopefully this gives you an idea, and you can also add another secondary dimension if you want to take a look at it. Maybe we also want to look at in the country, which country is making the most sales in that typical product, right? If we go down, and if you can't go down, just edit this to be 250, and let's go down. Most of it are in United States, so we have one in Brazil, which is Android Classic Collectible, is making good money in Brazil, guys. We have 130 items viewed, and we generated $3,000, which is a pretty good number here, 3,600. So you can make these strategic decisions here. You can come to purchase journey on the left hand side. This will give you a different data. But this data is a little bit tricky. So you have to know what is your drop rate on each jump from one specific point to the other. So this is abandonment rate from session start, view product, add to basket, begin checkout, and they purchase your product, right? So if you don't have a good overall idea of what is your drop-off rate from each product, so we have 100, 29, 24, 55, and 40, 48. You cannot say, oh, look, from session start to view product, I have a huge drop-off. I have to work on this. You cannot tell this because this will be different on each design of the website, or each, let's say, Shopify store to WooCommerce store. It will be different. From a person selling t-shirts to you're selling electronics, this will be different. How you design or specific to your website, the plugins that you have, maybe you have a checkout bonus or a free shipping, those will make these numbers a little bit different. So you have to be specifically looking at your site and take a look at a bigger time range and say maybe November 1st, 2022, take a look at 1 year, 2 years, 3 years period, and you have a good benchmark understanding. See, now you say, I am 30%, 21%, 48%, and 40%. Now you come back and look at the last 30 days and see if you have dropped the ball on something. Then it will give you a better data. And you can see those drop rates on each device, which tells you a good idea of, you know what, my mobile, the drop-off rate is way higher. I have to work on my mobile checkout friendliness. Then you could go to your developer and look at those stuff. This is really helpful, but you have to know how to analyze this data. This is really important, and this will help you how you design your website as well. And this will make you a ton of money. And if you want to be more specific, guys, look at Search Console. You can user attributes. This will give you a lot more data about demographics, audiences. And if you're running Google Ads, this will give you really good data, especially audience data. So you're looking at audiences, casual browsers, clusters. So these are created by them, users in San Francisco, and you can import them in Google Ads, and you can target them specifically, likely 7-day purchases. So these are likely, not exactly, they don't know. The algorithm thinks that these are going to be likely purchases. Predictor, 28-day top spenders, which is a great audience. But this audience, you want to utilize these audiences. Otherwise, these are useless. You want to import them to Google Ads and target those people, which you can do like crazy. Tech also gives you what type of browser they're using, your purchases, what type of Android 7, iPhone 10, whatever they're using, right? And on the left hand side, we have Explore. This is really complicated, and this will take a lot of time because you can craft your own forms, whichever data, whichever dimension you want to use, and you can spend literally days and weeks in creating these reports. It is totally up to you. You can play around with it, create your own funnels. So you can create free-form funnels. Maybe you have a meeting with the board, you have a meeting with the marketing team, create a funnel, add extra data. You will have to spend some time in this. Advertising is only useful on the left-hand side here again if you're running ads. If you're not running ads, if you're doing just Google Ads, it won't make sense. And this is a little bit advanced, guys, so I will just skim through it. On attribution paths, Google uses a couple of different attribution models. Google Ads right now default is data driven, so you can compare what is my data driven versus, so let's look at attribution models. I was on paths. What is the numbers differ when I use data driven versus last click versus first click, a little bit advanced, and you can look at the attribution paths. So what is the touch points before a person buys? So we can see organic search, a person before they buy, they at least click on 2 organic results. Cross network means Google Performance Max campaign, so they directly come and buy from that, right? So you can look at those, and you can look at touch points to key event. These are only one touch points. If you look at highest to lowest, you can see this guy to buy one product, which is crazy. Sorry, this guy didn't buy any product, so we can see the purchase revenue here. Maybe we want to make it 250. I want to see the highest touch points before purchase. So this gives you an interesting data. If you get a good pattern, you can actually craft your campaigns strategically, the media plan strategically. So this guy bought something for $112, right? And he had 20 touch points before he bought, which is crazy. You only think about, if I see an ad, I will go buy. I didn't like this ad. But every ad has a huge impact. That's why multi-channel advertising works really well. We have 16 organic searches, 2 referrals, like it could be an email, they click on Reddit somewhere, and they do 2 more organic searches. So this is a little bit advanced, as I said, and you can also look at planning, which also helps you if you have multiple channels, and audience advertising segments is also really beneficial. So that you can create these segments, get some data, engage users, you can import those bad boys to Google Ads and run the ads like that. This was a little too long, guys. I wanted to keep it as basic as possible. If you like more deep dive stuff, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm absolutely nothing to sell you here. I'm just providing value. All right, see you in the next one.